light source? Do you sometimes put a light, an actual physical light, or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I know
sometimes.
some artists who actually
Yeah, throw it up there to
put a
remind
little light.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I've ever actually done that, but
I think it's probably more so that for environments than
yeah,
furniture,
maybe,
but
maybe, yeah. Because I think you can get away with throwing a little light in here, doing this, getting something. As long as you're accentuating form, I think, yeah, it's not as important.
so how many designs are you asked to do per week at a
Oh,
finished or polished level? What is your usual
yeah, it
output?
depends. Like the video game place seemed a lot slower. Like I had to do stuff a lot faster at the makeup effects place.
Uh-huh.
Um, I guess maybe like one a day, kind of thing, like a finished
One, you
painting
get
at the
like eight
makeup
or nine
effects.
hours to do.
Yeah, do like a finished one, and then like at the video game place, it was like you had almost like 4 days to kind of work. But I mean, you had a much more kind of like involved sketch process where they really devoted more time to the sketch. Um, the makeup flex place kind of more haphazard. Sometimes you'd get time, sometimes you wouldn't. So, but I guess it all depends. I think 2 days is like a good amount of time. 2 days, 16 hours.
Do you still go back to traditional medium doing stuff, or are you pretty much all
Yeah,
Photoshop? Are
pretty
you
much all
like if they
Photoshop.
ask you, because you
Oh,
do makeup stuff, so
oh, yeah. I mean, I've done a little sculpting for them, doing some stuff, doing some maquettes, things like that. That's a lot of fun. That's awesome. Um, Especially because I don't really do it all the time, and it's all kind of fresh and new. Um, but yeah, as far as drawing, I mean, I'll sketch and stuff sometimes. Like we just went to the zoo over the weekend. I took pencils and paper, drew there. But most of the time, I'll just sit down and sketch on the computer. Really.
production for production it's just that much better.
Yeah, it's yeah, you know, because like yeah, me and like Jared Morantz. I don't know if you know, really amazing artist, but he was like sitting next to me at NCSoft, and he would do a lot of sketches, on paper, and then he would scan them in, and then he would work on them. And we were always talking about the process and stuff, and he always thought it was really cool that I just did everything in Photoshop, just straight sketching the whole thing. But I think it's more that I'm just lazy and I want it all in one spot. You know, I don't want to have to deal with I got this paper sitting over here and then I lost it and I got to scan it. And,
Standing over some pain will draw your
yeah,
work a lot of times.
and then I got papers lying all over the place and it's just like the whole point of the machine is I can keep it all in there.
You ever have two windows open where you have one window and you zoom in on that window to keep one that's just the full view of the character, and then have
So I
one
can
window
see the
just
whole
like
thing.
yeah, so you can have the whole and then you
Sometimes
just use the one window
keep a
to
little
work.
navigator window. Sometimes a lot of the time though, like here I'm not zooming in and out as much because the buttons are a little different. But I'll constantly throw the piece back. I do that a lot. And I'm working up
Yeah,
and then I do that.
just to see the whole
Yeah,
what you're
constantly
looking at.
pushing it back, and then like when you're in, it resizes it every time you try and do that, which is a little annoying to me. So working with this black background.
You use hotkeys a lot, of course.
Yeah, definitely
Do you use
for
the hotkeys on the Wacom or no? At
these
all?
guys.
Yeah.
No, no, not
Just
really.
the keyboard.
Yeah, I've got my pretty much my finger position that I can pretty much do everything with, and then if I had to learn something else, then this kind of throws everything off. But I've done this before where you just have everything on the whatchamacallit. I think the buttons feel a little sticky, so it kind of you have to put too much pressure to kind of move things.
pluses and minuses of both.
Film thing, I'd like to work a little higher in film than I've had the experience to work so far. It's mostly been, around makeup shops and things like that, creature design places. I'd like to work more on like a production art kind of level, like art department level. I think based on what I've worked on in film, how I've worked, the capacity I've worked versus video games, it's always cooler to say everybody watches movies.
Yeah.
So it's always, you can kind of talk about that with everybody. Oh yeah, I worked on this movie and everybody wants to go see it and all that kind of stuff. Video games, not yet does everybody play video games. So.
Except in South Korea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or if you work with Blizzard.
Yeah, then you gotta. Yeah, but then it's like old people, young people, everybody watches movies. The age range. Everybody goes to movies. And when you start talking about a video game, you're only talking to a couple people. A small group of people. So I think that's one cool thing about working more in film. But the thing I really liked about the video game place, and I think it outweighs all the other stuff, is, you're world building and you have more control over what you're making. You can kind of jump around into different, genres of, creating the world. You're not kind of stuck, which I thought was kind of cool. So.
What's your education, by the way? What did you?
I went to Laguna College. Well, I went to Mount Sac for a while, a little longer than I probably should have. And then, like most people, to community college. And then I transferred to Laguna College of Art and Design.
You got your bachelor's, or?
Got my bachelor's. And first I started studying animation, and then down at Mount Sac. And then I thought I wanted to, be an animator. And then came really close. Like right when I graduated from Mount Sac, I put my stuff in at Disney and came really close to getting a
In-betweener position?
I think it was something like that, but in effects animation. They really liked the portfolio, and they're like, oh yeah, you're really young, stuff's great. And I was talking to the lady back and forth, and they ended up giving the position to another guy who was already in-house. Oh no, that's what it was. It was something working, like under somebody in character animation, and then an effects guy ended up getting it. So, and then after that happened, I was like, okay, I'll go to school, learn how to paint better. And I think realized,
God sent.
and then realized, like, wow, it'd be really cool if I could do this instead of having to in between something all day.
I did that for 3 years. So.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow, man. Where at?
I worked at Klasky Chupo,
Wow.
Playhouse Pictures. I mostly did commercials.
Oh, cool.
Did it for 3 years, and was just about to get into feature, and I don't know, I got burned out on Kalina. I was like, oh, this is like, I want to get into animation.
Yeah.
And getting into 2D animation was it was more tough.
Yeah.
Than it was, it's like, oh, you have to start off in cleanup.
Yeah, exactly. Work your way up and all that stuff.
So.
Yeah, dude. I remember I was talking to Kevin, and
Yeah, he did cleanup for a little bit too.
yeah, and he was doing some stuff on Hunchback and all that stuff, and then he kind of had this. He actually got in there and was doing the stuff, and then he was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not fun anymore.
stick with one and continue to build after.
Yeah,
finish.
I'll usually do a lot more than I'm doing here. I'll throw lots of different things on.
Yeah.
You know, I'll throw yeah, just to get the mud a little more rich, and then I'll play back in other things, maybe quiet it down, take down hue and saturation, just start playing with everything, and flatten all the layers, do more stuff. But yeah, I'm feeling like I'm trying to not get too involved because
When you
yeah.
get to this stage, are you still just like pushing ink around, or are you really trying to?
Usually, like I feel like I'm still kind of pushing the ink around a little bit more than I think I should be at this stage. Usually by this time, I think I've got the basic kind of drawing issues done, and I'm really just starting to kind of add some of the little real kicks and things like that. Because the way I'm thinking about this, I'm trying to think about this more like I would do, I guess, like an effects kind of gig, where they're more concerned with surface. Of course, it's silhouette too, but when you give it to a sculptor, I mean, these guys are going to be adding pores in a specific pattern. There might be a hair pattern, a skin painted pattern, different types of things. So you get these multiple layers of interaction with the character. So I'm kind of setting it up how I would do something like that. But yeah, I feel like I'm definitely not far enough along it, or as much as I would normally be. But yeah, because there's still a lot of. I'm working a lot with the airbrush tool, and I don't usually get to the airbrush that quick. I usually kind of work with the big, thick brush and kind of carve out the planes. But yeah, it just seems like it's working better on this computer this way. I can kind of screw around with stuff. Let's try this. Let's throw something else over there and see what happens.
The blue
Yeah.
layer on top of that.
Yeah. Let's just see. temperature kind of change in the skin. Sorry, it's so dark. Gotta read it a little better. Yeah, get some kind of shift to the skin tone, so it doesn't. You got an extra layer of kind of interest going on in the piece. It's weird, you go and hit Control Z and it doesn't work. Yeah, you asked me that question about artists. What about artists that inspire you guys? you guys looking at right now?
Like Adam Hughes.
Adam Hughes is amazing.
Yeah. Been on a big Spark kick for a while.
Sparth, nice, cool,
But
awesome.
what he does with Sophie strokes, it's mind-numbing.
Mm-hmm. Really nice, really nice. Who else? Anybody else?
What's that painting?
Oh, he left. Yeah.
What is this? The guy who did lighting and practical light and color DVD for the Oommen, for the Pixar lighter.
Oh yeah. I didn't get a chance to see him, but he sounded like he would have been awesome to see.
It was one of the best workshops I've seen there.
Really?
And I've been to like 4.
Oh
His goal
man,
is to paint like him.
to paint like that guy, huh? Awesome. Yeah, that sounded cool, man. I saw that and I said, oh wow, a guy from Pixar dealing just with lighting. Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it was probably the best workshop I've seen there thus far.
Awesome.
Not to knock it at all.
Oh yeah, no, hey man, you gotta do that.
Although the last one was
The last what?
last workshop I went to, I was pissed because
He
most
did.
of the presentations were really bad, especially his character sculpting one.
Oh, who did it?
See, I can't remember the guy's name. It was from Brazil, I think.
Something Zill.
No, he was from Brazil. But his work was amazing, but he
Couldn't speak.
practically went up there for 2 hours and plugged himself, and then like halfway screwed around in ZBrush for like 20 minutes.
That was it, huh? Wow.
Oh, it was really fun. A lot of them did that one time. It was like, that's sucking. Marshall Vandross was there. His lecture was really great.
Awesome.
Like you said, like, the way he can relay information is amazing.
Yeah. It's definitely like after I first took his class, I remember talking to my wife. I was just like, "Yeah, I want this guy to read like books. I'll give him the books, let him read them, and then he can tell me what they all mean. You know, you sit down and explain it to me. You know, like your dad reading you a story or something.
Yeah, he was really amazing for that.
And he gets you excited. He thinks grand ideas, big ideas, things that seem, like they belong in the area of philosophy. You know.
One concept artist there, he works for Epic Games.
Epic Games.
Kevin Hawkins, I think.
Oh yeah, that
He
dude.
gave a really cool demo on how they do weapon design for their games now. He'd show the process, the silhouetting the guns, and then do paint, and then get the sketches out comfortable. And then he would model the guns, but it got really hilarious because he didn't know anything about 3D modeling. He just knew how to push parameters into each other and model it visually to do that.
Oh, so it just looked like a model.
He would concept, paint, model, light it a little bit, and animate it. He would animate the gun like doing its firing sequence, to make it like a play blast for people that like the developers
To see how it was, but it was completely unusable because it was just.
because it was a concept artist modeling and animating everything.
What a trip! That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It made a lot of sense though, because what he was doing wasn't overly complex, and it really relayed a lot of information like, for something that was pretty in depth. So it was really cool.
Sweet.
I just get laughing at concept artists up in model. He even quoted, he's all talking to everybody. He said, "Yeah, there's a lot of good books on modeling and animation. I've never read them."
I was gonna say, yeah, I never read them all, but I've heard they're great. I like this. This is cool, man. We're just all kind of hanging out, drawing together. It's pretty sweet. Other than the fact that I have to work on this Mac, this is pretty sweet. So are most of you guys kind of close to graduating here, or we're in this room, or is most of you guys like kind of in a certain term or something, or?
Few of us, which actually, left. I'm in my 8th quarter.
Okay. That's pretty much finishing up, right?
No.
No?
12 quarters.
Oh, okay. makeup effects company. What's up? Explain that question. Oh, okay. Yeah. It was like my first job was working at a different makeup effects company. But yeah, I kind of just came in and I started working on. I think Van Helsing or Pirates. I can't remember which one. But yeah, I mean, I just started. I think it might have been vampires. And they just sat me down and said, "Okay, we need some vampires ideas, something like that." Yeah, I just bought a house. I've pretty much been able to support fine just me without like my wife's income or anything. It's just pretty much been me. We just bought the house, so it's stretching it a little bit, and I just got laid off this one job. So I got laid off the job. We just bought this house, so it's been a little bit hairy for the past month. But yeah, we're pretty much doing okay. Mm-hmm. The makeup effects one is definitely, it was like project to project. Like I would work for maybe a few months and then I'd be off, and then I'd be doing some freelance stuff here. I'd be doing some freelance stuff there. But yeah, the makeup effects is a little scarier. The video game place was cool because I worked steady for 2 years. But yeah, you gotta learn to save money, and you save money.
Yeah.
And then. But yeah. So you're not sitting. It's not like a 9 to 5, 1950s kind of work at the plant kind of job.
Like work 5-hour shifts, like 5 hours.
Oh no, I mean I would work like full 8-hour days, but like maybe I'd work for 2 weeks and then I'd be off, something like that. Usually with the makeup effects stuff, I'd work for a few months, 3 months or something like that. But yeah,
So it's really back.
Say it again.
So it's really back.
I don't know about laid back. I mean, because when you're working, you're working. It's a job.
Yeah.
But as far as
Gaming?
that gaming place was really laid back. To me, NC Soft, that was a cherry job, man. That was sweet. Those guys took care of us and paid us good money. There's a lot more cush than working at the makeup effects place. But I mean, there's definitely an opportunity to make really good money. Even if you get higher, like I make good money, but getting higher, like if you're working more like top production stuff as opposed to like say makeup effects, is like lower, more specialized. If you're working closer to the director, you make tons of money.
Well, say if you wanted to be, I don't know what you want to be. I'm going for a bachelor's. Did you ever? Were
Yeah.
you going for a bachelor's?
I got a bachelor's just so I could, because nobody really cares what degree you have as long as you can produce the work, right? But the bachelor, the people who care about your degree are people like this school. Because I'm coming down here, I'm teaching one class, they want to see the diploma. I also teach another place, Mount Sac. They wanted to see. I've never had anybody ask for anything like any kind of schooling. Where'd you go to school? The only people that ask is if you want to teach. So if you want to teach, get the bachelor's. Also, I mean, it's good. You're going to a school, you're learning information. That's all. It's all good stuff. I learned great stuff at my 4-year school that I went to. But as far as the piece of paper, I mean, because there's people that graduate that can't do the work. The piece of paper doesn't mean anything. It's the work in here, right? So, but the piece of paper is good if you want to teach. If you want to teach, and you don't have that piece of paper, you'll have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's more about the work. Definitely more about the work.
Yeah. Do you have benefits?
Okay. The video game place I did. I had really good benefits. The makeup effects place, when I got on staff there, I had benefits. Right now I don't have benefits. I could pay extra, like, since I teach, I mean, I just started teaching here, but I've been teaching at another place, you know, just like on the side, you know, 6 hours a week kind of thing. And I could pay through them to get medical,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I've been without medical for like 2 months, so it's not that bad.
So having a bachelor's is pretty good for, like, say, getting a steady job, like a teaching job that's steady, because you can't get fired as easy.
Yeah, true. You get it. I don't know how easy it is to get steady teaching gigs. I mean, it's easy to get part-time teaching gigs, or it's easier to get part-time teaching. Get something steady where you're there and you're there like all the time. You know, like say a staff person. That stuff is a little harder to come by. Like a bachelor's degree, and if you have experience in the field, like 2 years experience in the field and a bachelor's degree, you can teach part-time. But most of the people, as far as like a state-run school, if you want a full-time gig, you better have a master's, or you better be working in the industry a long time and people know you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you're looking for like a full-time teaching gig, then you should probably get your master's. It'd be a lot easier for you to scoot in somewhere. From what I understand.
Are you full-time?
No, part-time. I teach this one class here on the weekend, 8:30 to 12:30, and then I teach at Mount Sac. I start up like at the end of February. I teach a Tuesday, Thursday night class. So then the rest of the time I'm like working, you know, like right now I'm at ADI. I'm there 40 hours a week, and then I just picked up another small gig that I'm starting on this weekend for someone else. So, you know, sometimes it's a lot of work. Sometimes, you know, there's not much. But you kind of got to learn to kind of budget, save money, do that kind of stuff. So.
That's not good. I work at Target, so
Okay.
I don't get that much money.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wish I had a better job, but this is the only job I have that could works, you know, with my schooling.
That's good.
I wish I could with my schooling, but I mean, I feel like such an idiot working.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. No, yeah, it's
It's
not.
been years.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, man, I worked at Aaron Brothers all my time through college, I think, until like the last couple of semesters. Then I started doing, you know, like professional work or whatever. But yeah, man, I just worked there all the time. That was my job. So, you know, just a regular old 9 to 5 kind of.
Yeah. 9 to 5. Oh, my name is Nita, by the way.
Anita, John.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So, you're teaching here for
Yeah.
3 months, right?
Yeah, for whatever the duration of this class is. Yeah, I guess that's 11 weeks, right? So like, yeah, about 3 months.
Yeah.
Just a beginning drawing class, Saturday morning.
Yeah. I'm actually a modeler.
Okay.
Like, I model designs and
Cool.
people and stuff.
Gotcha. So it's like video game type modeling, like Maya and stuff like that.
Well, I do that a little bit, but I mean like model with clay.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Sculptor.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's one of my specialties.
Cool.
Is there any chance in that going far?
Yeah. Okay. It's like, I mean, I work with a bunch of sculptors, right? At ADI, you know, sculpting is a major part of makeup effects. They have to, you know, like I would do a design, I would go to somebody and they would sculpt it, and then they would mold it and apply the prosthetic to someone's face. But I don't think it's going away, but there's definitely a lot less work for it lately. As far as the field I know, there's a lot more sculpting in ZBrush. Have you heard of that program?
I heard of it.
Yeah, so it's like a digital sculpt. Yeah. Dude, there's some guys, dude. I went down and saw them at Gentle Giant sculpting these maquettes in ZBrush and then printing them out on one of those 3D. Oh,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. It looks like some dude sculpted it. It's like a little toy sculpture. But the idea is still, sculpting still pertains to I guess the training. It's just you got to learn the program. Once you get past the program, it's pretty easy. It's actually a pretty intuitive program. You know, I think if you understand Photoshop, you understand enough about drawing, and you have sculpting skills, and I think, you know, give yourself a few, you know, good couple months working on that program, and I think most people pick it up fairly easy.
Yeah. I mess with color a lot too.
Say it again.
I said I'm good with color, but I mess with it a lot.
Okay,
So
all
I'm
right.
wondering. I was wondering if you would. I
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's check it out. Yeah, whatever you know.
You're gonna teach.
I teach you. I mean, oh, you go.
Oh.
So, exactly.
Oh, no, here, I'm sorry. I just came here for this.
Oh, gotcha. Cool. Hey, man, thanks for coming by. Thanks for sticking around and watching. That's awesome. All right, good. Well, thanks.
Did you close it out or?
No, I haven't. I just was still working on it.
Oh, okay.